Scott Sprites here with Doug Upstone. We are DocSports.com. And folks, stick around at the end of this report, this video, because we're going to tell you how to get a free $60 account. But all right, now, going to talk a little baseball, weekend baseball in the Bay Area between the A's and the Giants. World Series preview? Maybe, maybe not. Hey, listen, Doug, there's only one team in all of Major League Baseball with a better runs differential than the San Francisco Giants, and that's the Houston Astros. Meanwhile, outside of the American League East, there are only 6 teams with a winning road record. The Oakland A's are one of those teams. They're actually playing .606 baseball on the road, which is a little bit better than what they played at home. They're about .590 or so, or .580 or so at home. Doug, we've got Manaea and Cueto on Friday, Montes and Wood on Saturday, Irvin for the A's on Sunday, Sammy Long, lefty, on Sunday, making his second start. Your thoughts on the series by the Bay?
You know, I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, I'm putting some time aside, both Friday and Saturday night in particular, to watch these games, because I mean, these are 2 outstanding baseball teams. I mean, like you said, you know, the Giants, you know, they're deserving where they're at. I mean, and I think it's a huge surprise. I mean, I'm surprised it's not a bigger story, to be perfectly honest. I mean, San Diego, the Dodgers get all the headlines, and all this team keeps doing is winning games. And one of the things that I've noticed that they've done, you know, and this relates to the run differential, is that they're dominating. And so in games that are decided by 2 or more runs, their record is 35-16. Okay, so they're just, you know, the bullpen is excellent. Their starting pitching is very good, somewhat surprisingly, I think, but still, to this point, it's been very good. And then Oakland, you know, I don't think this team's as good as the past couple of years that they've had, you know, but it's still a very good baseball team, and they're thriving more so in games where the scores are closer. Okay, so a lot of 1, 2, and 3 run games, and their record in those games is 27-14. So it's just they're kind of each doing it in a slightly different way, but they're doing it in both cases excellently. Now, the one thing in this series, though, that I think actually gives Oakland a bit of an edge in terms of the series is that they're not going to face either Gossman or can never say this guy's name, DeSclafani, and neither one's going to pitch because they just pitched, you know, in the last couple of days. So I think that shifts the overall series possibility towards Oakland in this one. What do you think? You agree, disagree with me, Scott? What do you think?
Well, first of all, you talked about the excitement of this series. Just from a fan standpoint, I can't wait to watch that Dodgers-Padres series. I don't know if you've got a chance to watch any of it the last 3 nights heading into through Wednesday. That was like playoff baseball. The crowd was going nuts. There were Dodger fans there, Padre fans. There wasn't an empty seat in the house. I mean, listen, I know the older I get, the more I enjoy baseball. I've always been a big baseball fan. But I'm telling you, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was just spectacular in America's finest city, talking about San Diego, watching those 2 teams go at it. I got a question for you. Are you Italian by any chance?
Not, my wife is, but it hasn't rubbed off, no.
Okay, well, I didn't know, I saw, Upstone, I saw the vowel at the end. I wasn't sure. But the reason I ask is because, DeSclafani, I'm German and I know how to pronounce that name. I used to have a couple of
anything that has multiple syllables, I'm going to struggle. I'm just going to put it out there.
I used to have a couple of really close friends who were Italian, and still have them. They're still real close friends, and they're still Italian, by the way. But I used to kid them all the time because, my ancestors are from Germany, and I used to call them, Southern Germans, basically, when we talked about Italy, but with the better food. But listen, Oakland, they put up numbers against lefties, no doubt about it. They're number 2 in baseball on the road against southpaws in both WOBA and weighted runs created plus. And guess what, Doug? They get to face 2 lefties this weekend, Wood and Long. While it's tough, extremely tough to go against the Giants, especially at home, Oakland is tempting in those games. And by the way, the one spot where the Giants have struggled, and we're really splitting hairs on looking with a microscope to see where this team has struggled this year, but it's at home against southpaws. And the A's are going to send Manaea to the mound, southpaw, on Friday. Oakland, a short favorite, a couple of books that have a line at the time of this recording. And so it's one of those situations where if they can continue to hit lefties, especially maybe Long on Sunday, then there's a good chance that Oakland comes away with potentially 2 wins in this series. Now, am I going to say run out and bet Oakland on the series against the San Francisco Giants, arguably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in all of Major League Baseball. That's another thing. But Oakland is no pushover. And a lot of times, Doug, this year when San Francisco's been at home, I either think to myself going into the handicap of their game, I'm either playing the Giants or nothing. It's not the case here. I think you got to give Oakland a chance here.
Yeah, I think you do too. And I look at this series. I think I prefer Oakland in the opener. Maybe a lean with the Giants in game two, but in game three, I actually like Oakland. Long, I just don't know enough about him. Haven't really seen him throw that much. I've seen Cole Irvin, and the one thing I do know, he pitches much better on the road than he has at home. His ERA I think is at least 2 runs different. So I think that's a big positive for them. And the fact Oakland, as you said, they have a tremendous record against lefties on the road. I want to say 11-2 going into the series. And they're going to face back-to-back lefties, okay, on Saturday and Sunday. So that's only more advantageous, particularly on Sunday, I believe. So I'm going to go with Oakland, and I'm thinking that they can win, the front and back end of the series.
Oh, I don't, I can't disagree. I think there's a good chance they take 2 out of 3 in this particular series. And you're not going to really get any gift from the lines makers, obviously. In this one. So it's one of those series where, again, I won't bet on San Francisco to win the series, maybe a game in the mix, but there is a chance I could have Oakland. So we're kind of both on the same page there when it comes to this. I'll tell you what, folks, man, you just want to see fun baseball series. And I'm glad they're playing it in San Francisco, where you got that beautiful ballpark that I've been to many, many times. I mean, we got Petco in San Diego. We got this stadium up in San Francisco. Chavez Ravine is still incredible in LA. Some of the best stadiums in all of Major League Baseball reside on the West Coast. So anyway,
And
Doug and I both looking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. One other thing. Don't forget about Oakland, where that's the only place where the rats are about the same size as they are in New York. So
that's true.
Can't leave that one out either.
And listen, when you're in those first 10 rows at Oakland, remember to pick your feet up, because there might be some drainage coming your way. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, they might be in Vegas in a few years. We'll wait and see. That'd be terrific. But Doug and I both will lean towards the Oakland A's to win this series 2-1. And don't forget about that free $60 account. You click on the link below the video. You get yourself set up for that free $60. And what you get to do is use those free $60 on any of our daily packages at DocSports.com, whether it's Doug or me or anybody else on the roster. For Doug Upstone, for Scott Spreitzer, let's put him in the win column. We are DocSports.com.